for everyone watching, thanks for tuning in again. Today we've got Kate on, who is a GB athlete. She has won the European Junior Championship, the elite one, and you have also won a silver in the World Championships. Is that correct?
In 2017.
In 2017. And I've got here that you've been on the podium like at least 12 times. That's what I counted.
I actually didn't know that.
Any
That's
more
quite cool.
of your credentials? You're sponsored by Canyon Bikes. Does that make it onto the credentials? That's quite cool.
Yeah, I guess so.
So yeah, I mean, me and Kate have just gone for a coffee just to kind of discuss just like pretty much this and just have a chat. And I don't know, to be fair, what our conversation would have been good on the podcast, but I think obviously it's good to have some direction. So I just want to start off and ask you what your typical day is looking like. I mean, we met each other like 4:00 today. I'd just woken up and so had Kate, but Kate had been on a cycle and a run this morning, and I'd done nothing. So tell us what your typical day looks like. And
okay, so like Monday to Friday, I swim every morning at 7:30. So I get up at like 6:30 every morning. Yeah. And then go swimming for like an hour and a half, and then it depends on the day, but sometimes I'll have physio, which I do twice a week. Sometimes I will have run session on a Tuesday after swimming. Sometimes I'll be out on my bike for 4 hours. So my days are pretty packed with training. Yeah. And then I kind of maybe do an hour or so of uni.
Do they feel busy, the days, or do you just think that you get a lot done?
I think I'm just one of those people that like literally plans my day to the hour.
So do you plan it the night before?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, I love a good plan.
Do you?
Yeah.
See, I also love a good plan, but then when I don't do anything I said in the plan the next day, it's more just depressing that I haven't got anything achieved. But yeah, that's pretty it's good. What distances do you cover in the morning? Like how far do you swim?
We'll do anything between like 5 and 6k of swimming.
5 and 6k. So miles, what's that, like 3 miles?
Don't ask me miles.
Yeah,
it's like 3 miles.
That's far to swim.
Yeah, so that takes like an hour and a half.
And is that reflecting the distance you would swim in a triathlon?
No, not at all. So like I swim for a sprint distance you'd swim 750 meters. Okay. So that's like pretty short. Yeah. And then 1500 meters for a standard distance. So it just depends on the race, but I guess like training, you always like kind of train for the volume and like, yeah, I don't know if you guys are interested in this, but like building like your aerobic capacity, your threshold. Yeah. So yeah, you just have to do a lot of volume basically. Swimming's all about volume, I would say. Okay. So. And
yeah, like do you delve into the depths of training? Because it's like for that type of stuff, I wouldn't have the questions to ask. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So if you like have the information to share, just go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was actually going to ask you, like obviously you've just started to go into like the training side of things. Like from watching podcasts and listening to other triathletes or ultra marathonists. Yeah. Like there's a question like, how do you ignore the voice that tells you to quit when you're training? So how are you pushing yourself? And I think that's a universal thing for people that either just go to the gym for anything, like for any discipline. Like when you want to quit, like where's the motivation and how do you just keep going?
I guess it's kind of addictive. Yeah. Like I don't know if this sounds really weird, but I love like pushing myself like to like the max sometimes in training. Like not all the time in training because it's not sustainable to train in that way. But like this morning when I was like doing my run session, which was really, really tough, like I don't know, it's kind of addicted to like push yourself and like when you want to give up, that's kind of when you want to push yourself more. Yeah. And then obviously I've got like really amazing teammates who like we kind of push each other in training, so we want to like stick with each other at running. Like we don't want to let one person kind of get away. So it gets quite competitive.
Is that when the games kind of begin? Is it when like when you'll reach the stage where you're tired,
yeah,
that's when the real kind of competition starts. And
yeah, and like we're all pushing each other because we all kind of want the same thing. Like we want to get the best out of ourselves and like kind of build the best athlete in ourselves.
Yeah.
We all have very different goals. So like the girl next to me would have like completely different goals of what she wants to achieve in the sport, but like it means we both push ourselves, and yeah, we work really well together. So
yeah, I feel like you must be in tune. I think it must, I'm not going to say it's easier, but obviously as you've spent a lot of time training, you kind of understand when it is your like mental just telling you to quit. Because like for me, so if I go on a run, like I've written down, I'm not sure if my legs are tired or I'm just like making up an excuse in my head. So is there a clear relationship? So you're just like, okay, I know what my body can do. Like through training, might be like, right, I can cover this distance easily. It's just my mind telling me to stop. Like, do you know when it's your body just
like, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't think the same sometimes. I'd be out for, especially if I do anything by myself, like if I go out for a run by myself, I'm like, oh, like, fuck this, like, I'm tired, like.
Siri's
Siri.
joining in the conversation.
I'm kind of just like, oh, I'm really tired today, like, I just want to stop. But then in the back of my head, I'm kind of like, no, like, one day I want to go to the Olympics, I want to go to Com Games, like, it'll all add up and it'll all contribute to like where I want to go. So that definitely like makes me carry on when I want to stop.
What is the road to the Olympics and looking like, and all these huge competitions?
Yeah.
What is kind of the route there, and are you on track?
I mean, it's kind of hard to tell at the moment because I haven't raced at all this year. It's been kind of weird because obviously the Olympics was supposed to be going ahead this year, and now it's been postponed, so hopefully it goes ahead next year, and that's like not kind of on my radar at the moment. I'd say I'm too young to be pursuing the Olympics at the moment. Like triathlon's more of an endurance sport, and is an endurance sport, and you tend to find that with endurance sports you just get better as you get older. So the girls that have qualified to go are kind of between 26 and 32, so quite a few years older than me at the moment. But that doesn't mean to say the next Olympics, which will be in Paris, is definitely like on my radar. So
that's cool.
Yeah, I'd love to like give it my like best shot at like putting myself in the best position to go to those. Yeah,
and then I'm guessing, like, if the Olympics goes on next year, you'll be able to look at the times that they're achieving and think, well, that's a goal for me.
Yeah, and I hope in the next couple of years that I'll be like entering the same races that all those guys are doing, so I can kind of race against basically the best in the world and like see what it takes to be kind of the best in the world. And I already train alongside a lot of them, so I'm kind of aware of what it takes already, but I just need to get myself there.
Do you train with the Brownlee brothers? Because I swear they are based in Leeds. I remember when I was, I don't know, when we were talking about Eunice Mum, so I'm pretty sure the Brownlee brothers train in Leeds.
Yeah, they pretty much like formed like the base, like that's kind of popped up in Leeds for triathlon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, so they were born and raised here, and then they were the ones that kind of changed the sport, made it more exciting, and then kind of put it on the map.
Do you think this was like the last 5-6 years?
Yeah. Oh, way back to kind of London 2012 when Alistair won. And Johnny came third at the Olympics. Like, that really kind of changed the game for triathlon and kind of increased its popularity and stuff. But yeah, I do a couple of sessions with them a week, which is pretty cool. Really nice guys. Cool. Yeah.
And you said that they kind of put the sport on the map.
Yeah.
How did you get into wanting to be a triathlete? Because it's not, you know, like in school, we've got obviously athletics, but did you train with school, or did you go elsewhere for training, and like why was that even an interest to like a 12-year-old, 13-year-old Kate? Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, I want to go push myself on the on the bike or swim. Like, when did that come up? Was it because of the Brownie brothers or?
No, like I was always like really sporty. When like ever since I can remember, like I've always swam. Like I learned to swim when I was really, really little. I always ran. My granddad and my dad were really into cycling, so I've always kind of done all three. But it wasn't until I was like 11 maybe that I was like, oh, I'll do a triathlon. And then I just really enjoyed it. I was always doing like all sorts of sports though. So
where was your first triathlon and which one was it?
My first triathlon was a place called Benfield.
Is that near Newcastle?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
around a field.
Oh, nice.
So it was pretty funny. And I was so little and I just kind of did it for fun, and I didn't really realise I was beginning to take it more seriously until I was like at a national championships one day.
Yeah.
I just kind of found myself there.
Yeah. Did you just join, and then I feel like in athletics, if the coaches see you've got potential, they kind of just take control and just be like, right, well, you turn up this day, and all of a sudden 3 years later with a bit of effort, they've developed you into like a pretty good athlete.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, I was swimming with a swim club, so I was swimming with people who wanted to be swimmers, and I was running with people who wanted to be runners, and I'd do like my own cycling just for fun. Yeah. And then I'd combine the three when I raced. Like, I wasn't really thinking about it, and then I got like kind of scouted by, it was called the England Talent Squad. Yeah. When I won a national championship when I was like 13.
Oh, really?
And then I just carried it on.
I remember
still doing it.
RGS Sports Day. I think this is like, obviously because we've been at the same school, like I've known that you're a triathlete or an athlete. But I think it was in like RGS Sports, I remember on the tannoy, you were winning some race and they were like, oh, Kate Woff just being back from the European Championship. And then I'm pretty sure he did his speech as well. I was just like, oh, what was going on? But
it was.
And when I was looking at your credentials, like maybe it was like 2014. I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah, because I looked back and you like come first in a race then, so I was thinking maybe that was when the school were like.
Oh yeah, I'd just been to Russia.
Oh yeah, that might have been it. Yeah, that sticks out.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I always found stuff like Sports Day like really hard for me though, because I didn't want to seem like I was being overly competitive, but like in my head I'm like so competitive. Mm-hmm. So like everyone was just kind of there for the bands, and I was there as well, but like
not for the bands.
I was there for the bands, but I was kind of like, I still want to win. Yeah. So I was like, it's such like a difficult balance to not look like a
achieving
keen
PBs.
bean.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that. But so yeah, how was Russia when you went there? I think that's a really weird country. Like I've got no idea about Russia. I feel like people are always like, oh, it's a bit weird.
It's a weird place.
Yeah.
That was like my first international competition as well, which was really rogue because like I've never been to Russia since. Yeah. But it was just where the European relay champs were being held at the time. So I was there with a team. So I wasn't even there for like an individual race, so it was quite unique. But yeah, weird place. It was literally in the middle of nowhere. Like really? we got a flight to Moscow, and then we got like a 3-hour flight to literally the middle of nowhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you running through like mountain ranges?
Yeah,
and like forests and stuff.
Yeah, and there were around the course there was like armed guards, and they had like just grenades in their pockets, and like they were armed with guns, and it was just the weirdest place.
Yeah, it's quite distracting when you try to achieve a PB.
Yeah. I've never had a desire to go back.
Mm-hmm. Where else have you been? That's been interesting. I know you spent time in New Zealand this year. Is that the country that you've kind of been back and forth to the most out of them all?
Oh, I was in Australia.
Australia?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Okay. Yeah. So did you go there for training camp? Or?
Yeah, I was there for a training camp earlier this year, which we had to come home early from because of COVID.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've been to Australia a couple of times. I've been kind of all over Europe, like Spain, France, Italy, Portugal, like all with racing. I've been to Florida. a place called Cozumel in the Caribbean. That was really nice. Cool. Yeah.
How long do you spend in these places? Does it range from like days to months or?
Yeah, like I was training in Australia for like 2 months, so that was pretty sick.
That is cool.
But when we're there for races, like we can. It depends. Like if it was in France, I'd be there for like a few days. But if it's like longer travel time, we'd be there for like 10. It kind of just depends.
Yeah. And you told me that when you're in Australia, we were talking about surfing.
Oh yeah.
Is it quite a weird transition? Like you've probably got a lot more travel experience than the average student. So is it hard to go back from surfing in Australia to being a standard student in Leeds? Like, do you not see glimpses of kind of other cultures and different lifestyles, and then
and I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it not painful? But
yeah, it is.
Yeah,
especially on days like today. Like I literally rode in the rain for 2 hours today.
Yeah,
and I was like, I could be anywhere in the world right now, but just I have my like teammates here, so
yeah. And I guess like the triathlete lifestyle is what gets you to all those different places.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is the training ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could choose to base myself somewhere else, but
yeah,
I don't know.
And so are the training facilities, I know you just talked about the Brownie Brothers, but are the facilities really good in Leeds, specifically for triathletes? And where do you actually train as well? Is it university or?
No, like, so British Triathlon have like their own, what are they called, like centres.
Yeah.
So there's one in Loughborough, which is obviously really big for sport. That's like the main centre for triathlon. One in Leeds, one in Cardiff, one in Bath, and one in Stirling in Scotland.
Okay.
So this is just kind of one of the British Triathlon centres, and we like train out of the facilities that are kind of in the area. So I do my swimming at the Edge at Uni of.
Yeah. You use the sauna there sometimes.
Yeah, it's quite nice. And then obviously like the cycling's really good here because we're so close to the Dales. So yeah, the cycling's really good for kind of getting strong on the bike and doing hills.
So did you, when you applied to uni, did you come to Leeds specifically for that centre?
Yeah.
And did you apply as a triathlete, or was it different? So did you apply?
Yeah, like I applied for a sports scholarship with Uni of, but I wasn't actually, I guess, like Uni of like obviously a really good university, but I came more for the centre than I did for.
And was there any other options?
The uni. Yeah, like I could have gone to Bath, I could have gone to Stirling.
But you chose Leeds.
Could have gone to Loughborough, chose Leeds.
Yeah.
Leeds is just like closer to home and stuff as well, so it's in quite a good location for me.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
And a lot of my friends who are slightly older than me came here as well, so I kind of just wanted to follow suit.
Yeah, we were just saying that. So yeah, as I said, like we went for a coffee, had some good chat, and we were just talking about being kind of, obviously Kate's like a triathlete, and you're not really doing like the normal thing, and everybody else around you's drinking. Is it hard to kind of differentiate yourself from the crowd, like on a regular basis to go train? And have you felt that, like going against the crowd? Has that been taxing on the? Yeah,
like I think when I came in first year, I struggled the most because I was like, oh, like Leeds is sick. Like I just want to go out all the time, meet new people, and I was kind of, I don't know, I just wanted to be like a normal student when I first came, and then as I kind of got tired of it, I was like, oh no, like I just want to train. And like at first I was really paranoid at like what people would think of me. Like, oh, like she doesn't want to go out and stuff. We don't want to be her friend. But now I'm just like, the friends I've made are the ones that I have like the most in common with, because I don't know, they don't like going out as much as well. So I thought, so we were talking about your living arrangements. I thought you would live in a house with like other triathletes. I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Sorry. My bad.
They're triathletes, but one of them went to Uni of Leeds and one of them's at Beckett.
And you all train together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like there's a lot of athletes in Leeds. which I guess you'd like kind of only know if you were in the know, but there's a lot of triathletes, like it's a big centre.
Yeah.
So we're like, although like we all know each other, we don't necessarily do everything together all the time. Like there's a lot of kind of subgroups within it.
Is it quite an individual sport? I mean, obviously it is, but
yeah.
How is it not being in a team, and like, is that portrayed in people's kind of like characters?
Yeah, like people are definitely, well, I'd say myself, like you have to be selfish sometimes with your training. Like you have to do what's going to make you a better athlete. So sometimes you're like, I don't know, to be blunt, you just have to be like, nah, I'm going to move group because this group's not pushing me enough. Yeah. So I'm going to move to this one because I know they're going to push me more. And like I've had to make those decisions myself sometimes, which have been like pretty difficult, like leaving some people and like moving on to other groups. But like I feel so much happier for it. And like.
So just, do you mean groups as in training groups?
Yeah, sorry, training groups. Yeah.
So like for the
so say like
layman's terms, do you have like a group of people that you always train with, and
I can't.
Is that what the crack is? So
yeah, like I kind of train with. It depends, I guess, because there's 3 disciplines: swim, bike, and run. I train individually for the ones like I train with people who I think will make me a better cyclist or who will make me a better runner. So a couple of years ago, I moved run group within Leeds. Because the run group I was with, I was like, oh, they're not pushing me enough, so I moved to another group of athletes.
Yeah.
But I don't
How do you find them?
Like, what I think I train best with people that I like can have banter with.
Yeah.
Because you spend so many hours together, like you have to get along with them. But also like are really like good athletes, and they kind of want the same things as you, like to kind of push themselves, and so. Yeah, I guess it's just about like choosing the people that you feel have the same characteristics as, but also can have like a good time with. Yeah. So. Do
you think you'll be competing against any of your kind of teammates?
Yeah, I have to.
Yeah.
Like,
is that a regular thing, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird because we all train together, but then we're also like aware of each other's strengths and weaknesses. So when it comes to races, it's kind of like you have to put your like friendships aside with people, and you just have to like do a race. Yeah. Which is really weird, and sometimes if like someone beats you who's like a good friend, you kind of have to put the race aside and think about your friendship as well. So yeah.
Do you ever like hide anything in training, like say in light of a race? If you've got a race coming up in a month, do you ever kind of go a bit slower on the runs or slower in the pool just so people don't recognize like your strengths, or is it not that tactical?
I don't think it's like that. Maybe like years ago I probably would have done stuff like that, but I don't know, we're all mature now, and we're all kind of like, it's whoever's the best on the day. Yeah, like we have to train hard. We all know we want to train hard, so yeah, it's kind of like we're just honest with each other, and then it's just put the friendship aside on the start line and get the race done.
So moving on to like social media, I think I've seen some hashtag ads, but you are a sponsored by Canyon, so you're a Canyonist, if that's the terminology. But yeah, so how did you get sponsorship, and do they give you bikes for free? That's what I want to
know. So I have like, I guess he's an agent. Yeah. And they basically do all the hard work for me. Yeah. So, stuff like bikes are really expensive. So he's kind of put in the word for me to like different bike brands. And I've always so I bought a Canyon when I was younger, and I've always worked with that brand. So I was like, oh, I'd be really keen to carry on a relationship with this brand.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, I've just like built a rapport with that company, and now I signed a contract with them, which is really exciting. And
how long's the contract?
Well, it's been funny this year because they've kind of just like extended the contract because of COVID. But I think it's a couple of years, so
that's good.
Yeah.
So, well, your kit is sorted for
hopefully. Yeah. So I feel so lucky because things like bike sponsorships are actually like really hard to come by. So yeah, I'm really grateful.
Did you get your agent, like how did you get to a certain level where you're like, right, I need an agent for sponsorships like that, or did you just get allocated one when you hit a certain level?
He came to me and said, it was after Worlds in 2017 when I came second. Kind of 6 months later, he came to me and said, like, I want to work with you. I can kind of, yeah.
I'm just going to address you guys. Unfortunately, the camera cuts out, so I've just had to replace it with some useless footage of me writing something in a book. So enjoy the rest of it. Sorry about this, and thank you.
I can make your life easier, basically. Yeah, provide the goods, I guess. So yeah, that's kind of how it came about. And then, yeah, he definitely has, like, the Blue Carpet Management is like the company I work with, and yeah, they've like got me that sponsorship as well. So it's pretty good.
So for like people listening, and I've got like a thing written here referring to me. So we were going to go on a cycle together, which I kind of disregarded because it would have been a painful time for me. But we're going to go on one just so we can find a route. But if I was going to be the next triathlete prophet, where would we start and how? And like for the people that maybe want to get into the type of training you do, where would we start? Like where do I get in the pool first? What like 5K times am I looking at? Because like a 23 is not the best thing in the world. How fast did you 5K? Do you know off the top of your head?
I wouldn't know off the top of my head. I think for a girl, a fast 5K would be like 16:30 and under.
Yeah, that's definitely fast.
Yeah. So I haven't actually done a 5K race in a long time. So but that's kind of the times I'd be aiming for.
Yeah.
I don't know. It depends what your background is.
I mean, it's pretty level in all of them. You know, I've got a bike. I've got a pair of trainers.
You can swim?
I can swim. Yeah. Not too well, but I can swim. So
I think swimming's the best for building like your aerobic capacity.
Yeah.
So I'd get in the pool first.
Yeah. And so you mentioned aerobic capacity before.
Yeah.
Is that you? And you said that it's like the key to swimming. What is that aerobic capacity?
Don't ask me the detail. So I don't know. I guess with endurance sport, you need to have a good aerobic base.
It's when you're not breathing, pretty much, isn't it? It's like the exercise you do underwater.
No, that's anaerobic, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't really know.
Oh my God, I don't actually know.
I don't know either.
It's basically doing like long hours on a bike or long swimming builds up what is called like an aerobic base. It's just a general level of fitness.
Yeah.
So you need to have a good aerobic base, like a good general level of fitness through volume.
Yeah.
Which is why I would encourage you to like get in a pool to build that, because it's the least injury kind of prone thing.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm doing my breaststroke, it's pretty risk averse, I think. But yeah.
Don't ask me the technical terms. I don't really know. Yeah. I just do what I'm told.
Do what you're told. Yeah. Well, so I think I would also just going back to your Instagram, because that's what I've been following for years. Do you go to like test centers all the time to kind of test your levels of fitness? Mm-hmm. Do you have to record it often? And like, how do you maintain a certain level of like peak performance?
I don't.
You don't? Like
if I was to do a race now,
yeah,
it would be awful.
Are you on like a diet plan, or like do people literally say, right, you have to eat this, you get 8 hours of sleep a night? Like, how strict is it?
I think you just have an idea after a while.
Yeah.
Like what you need to do. So at the moment, like the triathlon season's in the summer. So like there's a couple of races left, but like I'm not doing them.
Yeah.
So like my fitness now is like nothing compared to what it'll be in like March time, April time, or like September's when I'd want to be like peaking, because that's when World Champs is.
Yeah.
Or end of August. I can't even remember what the question was now.
We were just. Do you know what? I've also lost my train of thought.
But like, so you definitely go through like phases where you're like way fitter.
Yeah.
And like you're not fit at all.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely like close to like the bottom end of like trying to find some fitness.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. It was just about like maintaining a level of.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so, do you know when you go on cycles and runs every morning, is that you just being like, right, well, I should probably go on one of these? Or is someone telling you to do that?
No, like I do have a structured training plan. Like
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing Monday to Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, like I know I'm going to be swimming every morning, Monday to Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I know I have a run session every Saturday morning and every Tuesday night.
Yeah.
So like it's very like, what's the word?
It's all like methodical and planned out for you.
Yeah, it's all planned out. Like I know what I'll be doing. Like, and like you said, like I know I roughly need to get like 8 hours sleep a night.
Yeah.
Because that's when I'm going to train best. Like training off 3 hours sleep is just not going to be very beneficial. So.
Yeah, I'm trying to do a good job of, because what I'm conscious of is like someone maybe watching who's really into, like really wants to become a triathlete.
Okay.
And it's like dying behind the screen because I'm not asking like the one key question. So kind of just wrapping up, what is next for Kate Wolf?
What is next?
Olympics. Commonwealth Games.
Yeah, I like put it out there that I would like to be at the Olympics in 2024.
You're putting yourself out as tribute. Yeah. Or forward, whatever.
Yeah. And obviously there's Commonwealth Games in Birmingham in 2022, which is like also a target of mine. But like in the next year or so, like I just want to go to like World Under 23 champs, and like I came 4th last year. So I'd like to like kind of get on the podium. They're like short-term goals.
Yeah.
So yeah, and just kind of keep progressing.
Yeah, well that's
I think
exciting.
is the main thing. So
yeah.
keep
so
going.
Keep an eye out for you in the 2024 Olympics in Paris. Yeah.
I hope so. Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah. Well,
maybe in 4 years when this podcast is like
popping, hopefully. Yeah.
I'll come back on and be like, I was one of the originals.
I appreciate you coming on because obviously at the start it's really hard to get people on if you don't have any kind of experience, but Tozan's come on and you've given me your time, so I appreciate it to give me a bit of a platform.
Thanks for having me.
But thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Okay. See you later, guys.
Okay, thanks.